Hey everybody, Spoonfed here, and this is just gonna be a small ramble. So yeah, you can keep watching the video, but you just see my home site because, well, that's the quickest thing I could think of as a background. I know it's cheap, I know it's under below the belt to do this, but I don't care. It's about a movie I recently rewatched actually. I watched it again, and it still amazes me how awesome that movie is in terms of how well it defined the future and defined the era that it was released in. And the year is 1976, and a guy called Sidney Chayefsky, or Paddy Chayefsky, he wrote already a lot of series and movies, or the screenplays for them, and he thought about how he could maybe make a movie which would like lampoon the whole TV industry about not make wanting to make quality programs. Now, Sidney Lumet, he's a very famous director. He took on the project, and together it became the movie network as we know it today. Some of you might have already guessed that movie's name when I called these two when I named these two people. I mean, um, and it's about this um, newsreader who Howard Beale, fictional. By the way, it's all fictional, but it's like realistic fiction. It's so close to reality that it could almost just be real. That's kind of um, the way of his the style of writing and stuff like that. But anyway, it's about Howard Beale, who is a newsreader for a long time, and one day his ratings start to drop, and his ratings start to drop and drop and drop until he has hardly any ratings left anymore, and he needs to go out. So on a random night, as it were, he tells the audience, a week from now on Tuesday, I'm gonna blow my brains out on television because I'm gonna kill myself. And like, nobody in that room is paying attention to what he's saying except for like two people, and they didn't stop him. So a lot of complaints got in that how can a person say on television that he's gonna blow his brains out and stuff like that. So he needs to apologize, and the apology he gives is, I just ran out of bullshit. I didn't have any more. I mean, I sit here day in day out reading the news about what? It's always the same: oil prices, war, famine, crime, disease, and I basically I'm just paraphrasing a lot of things. It's not the literal text, and so he's tired of that, and people quite like that he was honest in a way. So then they make him, uh, do that trick more often, but the novelty kind of wears off. It's suddenly you don't have anything to say anymore. So I don't know exactly what happens in the movie or what it's supposed to be, what's happening, but he has some kind of epiphany, and he goes on television. He should have done a last goodbye type of thing, but he doesn't do that. He instead talks about how he talked to God, and he said, I don't believe in God. Well, I don't believe in God either, so what's the difference? And he asked, why did you choose me? He said, well, because you're on television, dummy. And that sentence is something I think says a lot about the time that was filmed in. That you're automatically more important or famous or whatever you want to do because you're on television. Nowadays, there are so many like stations and networks and channels that it doesn't really matter. But in those days, there were a limited amount of number of channels, so it was really important to be on television, or you were automatically really important. And as the thing goes on, he has a rant about that. Everybody sees that the world is like not as it should be. The world is not right. But instead of doing something about it, we just watch the news or the TV for to wait for them to tell us that it's bad out there. So he says, but first you gotta get mad. And I can't do the speech as him because he's a world-renowned actor and I'm not. So he said, first you gotta get mad. And he said, I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to, destroy buildings or blow up stuff. No, you just gotta get mad. You just gotta say to yourself, I'm mad as hell and I won't take this anymore. And he gets the people so riled up that they, across the nation, stick their head out the window and yell, I'm mad as hell and I won't take this anymore. And as I'm watching that, I'm thinking, why doesn't that happen in this time? I mean, we got more crap going on than now and more than ever. That's usually what they say. That's what they always say and every time, but it's kind of true. I mean, economic crises aside, we've got crime everywhere. The state still doesn't know what to do with crime. Here in Europe, things go, well, south pretty fast too. So everywhere in the world we know it's kind of going downhill. But nobody gets really mad about it. The one thing that we had was the 99% movement. No, sorry, Occupy. That was the 1% movement. Or, yeah, how you want to call it. Anyway, the Occupy movement. They were the closest that we got to that point. And what did it do? Absolutely nothing. And that's more horrible than ever. But you might think about why didn't it do anything. A lot of people went there. But the thing is, here in the West, we have the democracy. And democracy, the majority rules. And in our case, the majority wants the world to suffer and end. It's not about the fewer people holding more power. It's us. It's just society as a whole. I mean, in other countries where they don't have democracy, the same thing still goes on because as the I think it's called Jensen in the movie, the network manager explains, he said the world is not a world of nations or ideologies. It's a college of corporate businesses governed by the bylaws of business. And that's exactly what our world is today still. It has nothing to do with nations anymore or society of one country being different. No, it's all kind of the same everywhere. And that's because everywhere there's business. Business is everywhere. Business governs everything. If we take a recent, the biggest thing I can think of that's recent enough is the Mega Upload case. Mega Upload has been around for God knows how long. And actually a lot of people did use it just for storage, keeping your files online or your backup or whatever, it was a kind of Dropbox to them. And now the goddamn corporation comes in and says, we have lost billions and billions of dollars. We can't stand for that. This site needs to be taken down. And it was taken down in in a record amount of time. Like instantly, FBI claimed it. They didn't have an investigation going yet. They didn't have probable cause or whatever the terms they want to fucking use. No, they just took it down because the corporations in America said, "Hey, we're now our profit is stolen from us. That's the death penalty. That's you cannot do that at all." Whereas, what did he do? He just gave a platform in which you could host files, and that's the only reason why they're cracking down on torrent networks. Because Team Imagine, which has already been in prison for, no, not in prison, but I mean in court and lawsuit for 2 years, finally been sentenced. But what they did was they got new movies that were out in the theaters in good quality on the web. Now that was bad, but what was even worse is they got their own private tracker. That was like no go. That was really nah, no. Now you're just fucking with us, so we're gonna crack down on you. And once in a while, a student needs to be an example for the corporation to say, well, you have downloaded 3 MP3s, so that means you didn't go to the you can not go to the concert, or you won't go to the concert, however you want to formulate it. You didn't buy their CDs because those 3 songs are on 3 different CDs, so you 3 CDs, but you are not only one person, but you represent the whole of the United States, so that means we've lost $20 billion, which is insane. I mean, nowhere, nowhere is there data, absolute data that downloading or torrents or the rise of torrents or even the internet itself um, helped build this super criminal network, they want to call it, that releases everything before time or on time, and you just get it for free, that the whole industry crashed. Because if that was true, then wouldn't record companies be earning less? Which is not true, they're earning more. Movies, same. They said if people can get it on torrents, then we just might well just lie down and we'll go broke and we'll never make another movie again. Every movie until now has like some fucking box office record breaking uh, momentum. I mean, The Dark Knight Rises was, I have no idea, but millions upon millions, as in the movie cost, well, let's say the movie cost 50 million. The box office records always have like this enormous figure of in 100 million was made the first weekend, and we're only always talking about the first weekend, not even the weeks after that. So you want to tell me that the movie industry doesn't get any more money anymore? If it takes 50 million to make that movie, well, let's say takes 50 million to make a movie, then still in the first weekend you already have enough money extra to make another movie. So I don't get it. This doesn't make any fucking sense at all that they say that torrents or illegal movies don't or help bring the downfall of the movie industry or the music industry or the games industry. The games industry, I mean, last time on Kickstarter with Project Eternity from Obsidian, it got like $6 million, or yeah, it was dollars. 6 million, and that all of that they got from people that want them to make the game. They gave a screenshot, they gave an idea. We all know Obsidian, so we know it's gonna be awesome as hell. But that system sounds to me a lot fairer or better than some giant corporation thinking of a game that people will buy anyway, instead of thinking, I need to make a game that's just awesome. And I don't know if people will buy it, I don't know if it will be good, or I don't know if they'll like it, as it were, but I just want to make a game that's awesome. I think those times are, we are well beyond that. So with movie, it kind of could be the same, but not really. I mean, the AVGN movie did a similar stunt. It went on Indiegogo, I think it was, and it got quite a lot of money. I'm not quite sure what regions they got. I think they got like 750,000 or something, or a million, something around that, maybe 500,000. And it also made a movie, but it's not like people get a say in the movie, or they, can offer criticism. But I think if you operate the whole system on that, a lot of people will pay for another Pirates movie, for example, or um, the missing parts to be filmed of Lord of the Rings, maybe, or a really, really good, um, any other kind of movie. Think of them. I mean, all the great movies that you've seen in your life are usually the ones that are like obscured, maybe not the correct word, but they only a few people know them, and they're not big and hyped at all. And it's usually because these people came to some guy that didn't have an extensive network and bosses breathing down his neck, and just said, I want to make an awesome movie, instead of, I want to make a movie that sells. Same with music. I want to make awesome music. I don't want to make music that sells. 99% of what comes out every year, every month, is music that people think will sell. It's the wrong kind of way to do things. And the same goes with me. I try to make content that I like, and not that I think, well, I'm gonna make this video about SQL injections because I know people watch that a lot. I mean, yeah, I go to my videos like to see what do people watch more often than not, and they watch the backtrack video a lot. So I think, well, if I do backtrack a lot of in my titles, and I do all kinds of like hacking stuff with backtrack, I know instantly that a lot of people will watch it. But that's not what I do. I make just videos with content in them. And for the Linux distros, it's the same. I could make stuff like, apparently this Spatry and WhatsApp, they got a lot of subscribers, so I'll just watch their videos and emulate what they're doing. Now Spatry, I don't get it at all. I just don't get it. I mean, it's no, I can't even say anything about it because I just don't get it. This is guy talking, and I don't have the best voice, and a lot of the times I'm searching for the words too, because I make these videos at the most inopportune moments that you can think of. So my mind is not always there. But um, I try to do a decent job, but to put myself on camera and then have some sort of weird screen behind me displaying like a sort of news reader, but then differently, no. And then, you know, I've only watched one review of him because I could not take more. I'm sorry to say. I mean, you don't have to like me or anything. I don't need everybody. I mean, there's 6 billion people on this planet. I mean, there's one person not liking me is a very good statistical chance of that. So more than that, I'll take that for granted. But that also goes for me. I don't have to like everybody else, and of course I like all my subs because they're my subs. But for other YouTube makers, it's not that I don't like him because he has more subs or he has more views or he does the same thing I do, but then better. No, I'm not that superficial, and I'm not that shallow and all those words that mean the same. I'm not like that. I just don't like his review style. I don't like anything about it. I don't, yeah, but sometimes I'm like, I don't like it, but I can see why other people like it. For instance, there's this new group out. I don't know how they call it, but if you ask any 11-year-old girl to 16-year-old girl, don't do that, by the way, because that's probably creepy as hell, but if they know this band, it's from the song, I think we were young or something like that, or I don't know, the new boy band from the UK. Everybody now, if people watch this, type it in the comment section, because I forgot the name. But I don't like them. Naturally, I don't like them because I'm not in their uh, target audience. But I can understand why those girls like them, as it were, because they don't listen to the music. They don't care. They look at them and they think, yeah, they're good looking, so we like them, yay. And then goes on with that goes for a lot of other stuff as well. Art is a different thing. Art is kind of the same. Sometimes you look at a piece of art and you're thinking, yeah, I quite like that. And other times you think, I don't like that, and I don't sure as hell don't get why other people like this. So that's the same with him. And Quatsup, the only thing that I've seen so far of him is he's doing Ubuntu. Ubuntu, 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 Ubuntu. At least I try to deviate. Well, I think I've done a really good job of deviating because uh, I think I have like about 100 distros already, easily. And soon I will get my achievement, Linux alphabet, which I've thought of for myself, because then I've done a distro for every letter of the alphabet. So yeah, but anyway, that's the thing that I don't get, that people watch his review and they said, yeah, I like it better. But yeah, I only saw one review of uh, Spatry, and I couldn't watch it. I just couldn't watch it, and I couldn't hear it. And the only thing that I can remember, I don't even know if it's true, but the only thing I can remember about it was that he lists like the version numbers of the programs that were in it, and I'm like, the fuck cares? Seriously, if if I download a distro, do I care if it has Nemo 1.1 or Nemo 1.0? Nah, I don't care, because if I download it, I'll upgrade it, and then everything is the latest version. Big deal. It doesn't come with this application. Well, then you install it. It's that simple. It's the same as saying Windows. Yeah, Windows doesn't come with Kaspersky default on it. Yeah, no, we all know, but that's why you go out and buy it and you download it. Or it doesn't come with microtorrent on it. Well, that's why you download it. All that stuff is meaningless. The only thing I try to do is like give you a quick flash of what it looks like, what the menu structure looks like, and that's it. Because the rest you can figure out on your own. I mean, package managers could be interesting, but most people don't give a fuck. They don't really care about if you have Pac-Man or if you have apt-get, or you have to use RPM packages or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Um, so yeah, well, just to wrap this up, as it were, because I'm quite done. Um, you have to see the movie Network because it's an awesome movie, and the world will never become better, because that's just not in human nature to do so. And there are alternatives out there. There are projects like the Venus Project, which coincides with the movie Zeitgeist, that try to make this world a better place. But every time you talk to somebody about this, they'll say, I've never heard of it. I don't know what it is. Yeah, kind of heard of the movie. I know a guy who knows a guy who watched it, but I don't know what it's about. Go check that stuff out. Go watch Network. And if you've watched Network, just do your digital equivalent of I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore. If you want to send emails to the White House instead of telegrams, if you want to Twitter it, or you want to Facebook post it, or whatever, go for it. And it would be cool if we could get like a couple of celebrities to do this, because then it will be a spontaneous big thing. But then I also realized it will be a hype, and it will be forgotten in 2 days. So yeah. Also, I've noticed I've done achievements unlocked with a small case, lowercase, I mean, sorry, lowercase u, but then the numbers I did with uppercase. I'm going to change that right now because it's annoying the fuck out of me the whole video. So that's it for me, and thanks for listening to my rant and ramble.